Hello student, today we will discuss about the topic as mole concept and stoichiometry. Okay, so let's start. Introduction. You have learned in class 9th that all gases behave similarly under similar conditions of temperature and pressure as expressed by gas laws. Okay, uh, gas laws are certain rules applicable to a gas in respect of changes in temperature T or pressure P or volume B. The change in any one of these affects the other two. Okay, मीन्स टेम्परेचर T, प्रेशर P और वॉल्यूम B में से किसी भी एक में चेंज करने पर अदर दो में भी अफेक्ट होता है. Okay. Now next, pressure volume relationship, or we can say Boyle's law. What is Boyle's law? Boyle's law. Okay. Boyle's law, it states that the volume of a given mass of dry gas is inversely proportional to its pressure at a constant temperature. Understood? It means at constant temperature. At constant temperature for a dry gas, its volume will be inversely proportional of pressure. Okay, means we can say B is inversely proportional to P, or P equals to K into P. Oh, sorry. P into P equals to K, where K is the constant. Okay. So we can say P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2 equals to K at constant temperature, where P1 change, pressure P changes P1 to P2 and volume changes from V1 to V2. Now next is the the temperature volume relationship, or we can say Charles law. What is Charles law? It states that volume of a given mass of a dry gas is directly proportional to its absolute temperature. Temperature will be in Kelvin if the pressure is kept constant. Means इसमें भी आपका Boyle's law में तो था अपना कि वॉल्यूम इनवर्सली प्रोपोर्शनल था प्रेशर के एट कांस्टेंट टेम्परेचर, बट यहाँ पे वॉल्यूम विल बी डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू टेम्परेचर एट कांस्टेंट प्रेशर. ये भी ड्राई गैस के लिए ही एप्लीकेबल होगा, सॉलिड एंड लिक्विड के लिए नहीं है. तो इसका कहने का मतलब है कि वॉल्यूम B is directly proportional to temperature T. So we can say is B is equal to K into temperature T, or we can say V by T equals to K, where K is the constant. Okay. Or in other definition, we can say the pressure remaining constant at volume of a given mass of a dry gas increases or decreases by 1 by 273 of its volume for each 1 degree Celsius increase or decrease in temperature respectively. So also we can say is if volume at constant pressure, volume change from V1 to V2 and temperature changes from T1 to T2. So we can say that V1 upon T1 equals to V2 upon T2 equals to constant K at constant pressure. Okay, understood? Now next is the gas equation. What is gas equation? On combining both the laws, which laws? Charles laws and Boyle's law. On combining both the laws, we conclude that the volume of a given mass of a dry gas varies inversely as the pressure and directly as the absolute temperature. Okay, means Charles law में क्या था कि volume for dry gas, volume is directly proportional to temperature T, and in Boyle's law, volume is inversely proportional to pressure P. So दोनों को कंबाइन करने के बाद हमें क्या मिलता है कि वॉल्यूम B is inversely proportional to pressure P and temperature T के directly proportional होगा. So we can say is B equals to T upon B into constant, or P into V upon T equals to K, where K is a constant. Okay, if the volume of a given mass of gas changes from B1 to B2 and pressure from P1 to P2 and temperature from T1 to T2, then we will find P1 into V1 upon T1 equals to P2 into V2 upon T2 equals to K, where K is the constant. Okay, now next is the standard temperature pressure, or STP. What is STP? Since the volume of a gas changes remarkably with changes of temperature and pressure, it becomes necessary to choose standard values of temperature and pressure to which gas volumes can be referred. Okay, so the standard values chosen are 0 degrees Celsius or 273 Kelvin. Okay, standard temperature is 0 degrees Celsius or 273 Kelvin for temperature, and 1 atm or 1 atmospheric pressure, or we can say 760 mm of Hg or 76 cm of Hg for pressure. ठीक है, मीन्स STP पर जब भी बोलेगा तो टेम्परेचर 0 डिग्री सेल्सियस लेना है, या 0 डिग्री सेल्सियस को हमें पता है कि 0 डिग्री सेल्सियस इक्वल टू 273 केल्विन. सो हम इसे ऐसे भी ले सकते हैं. और जब भी प्रेशर की बात करेगा तो प्रेशर के लिए हम 1 atm एट STP 1 atm और 1 atm इक्वल टू 760 mm of Hg, और वी कैन से 76 सेंटीमीटर ऑफ Hg. ओके, सो ये अपना STP पर दोनों वैल्यू लेंगे जब भी बात करेगा. ओके, सो नेक्स्ट इज द टेम्परेचर स्केल. Basically there are 3 temperature scales: temperature degree Celsius, Fahrenheit and Kelvin. So absolute scale और Kelvin scale हमें अभी इतना ही पढ़ना है, वो बाकी 11th क्लास में पढ़ते हैं. तो absolute scale और Kelvin scale. A temperature scale with absolute zero Kelvin as the starting point is called the absolute scale or the Kelvin scale. Absolute zero means 0 Kelvin. So 0 Kelvin equals to minus 273 degrees Celsius, because we know that 0 degrees Celsius equals to 273 Kelvin. Okay. Now Gay-Lussac's law of combining volumes. When gases react, they do so in volumes which bears a simple ratio to one another and to the volume of the gaseous product, provided that all the volumes are measured at the same temperature and pressure. Okay, means Gay-Lussac law क्या बोलता है? Gay-Lussac सर ने 1805 में 1805 में ऑब्जर्व किया था कि जब H2O का फॉर्म होता है तो H2 plus O2 gives H2O. Means at balancing the reaction, 2H2 plus O2 gives 2H2O. मीन्स यहाँ पे दो वॉल्यूम अगर हाइड्रोजन का लें और एक वॉल्यूम अगर ऑक्सीजन का लें तो हमें दो वॉल्यूम वाटर मिलता है, ठीक है। मीन्स रेशियो हो गया 2:1:2। ओके, सिंपल रेशियो। ये कब होगा? जब टेम्परेचर एंड प्रेशर कांस्टेंट होगा। ओके, ये वेरी नहीं होगा, टेम्परेचर एंड प्रेशर कभी वेरी नहीं होगा। जब भी जैसे मान लो हाइड्रोजन का हम वॉल्यूम कर दें, इसको हम 3 गुना कर दें, तो इसको भी हमें 3 गुना पकड़ना पड़ेगा। मीन्स इसको 6 वॉल्यूम ले तो इसको 3 वॉल्यूम लेंगे, तो ये ऑटोमेटिकली हमें कितना मिलेगा? ये भी 3 गुना मिलेगा। मीन्स इसका 6 वॉल्यूम मिलेगा। ओके, so especially notes is that Gay-Lussac's law is valid only for gases. Very important. Gay-Lussac law only for gases के लिए applicable होगा. The volumes of solid and liquids are considered to be zero. Okay. For example, first example is hydrogen chloride, HCl. On the formation of hydrogen chloride, H2 plus Cl2 gives 2HCl. So here 1 volume of hydrogen when mixed with 1 volume of chlorine gives 2 volume of hydrogen chloride gas at the same temperature and pressure. Same temperature and pressure. Okay, this is very important. Same temperature and pressure. Temperature pressure will not be vary. So here the ratio H2 का अगर 1 मोल लिया है तो Cl2 का भी 1 मोल लिया है, तो यहाँ पे 2 वॉल्यूम 1 वॉल्यूम अगर H2 का लिया है, 1 वॉल्यूम Cl2 का लिया है, तो हमें HCl का भी 2 वॉल्यूम मिला है। मीन्स अपना सिंपल रेशियो क्या हो गया? 1:1:2। ओके, और नेक्स्ट एग्जांपल अमोनिया। On the formation of ammonia, N2 plus 3H2 gives 2NH3. Okay, here's the ratio: 1 volume of N2, 3 volume of H2, which gives 2 volume of NH3. So the ratio is 1:3:2 is simple. Okay, carbon dioxide. On the formation of carbon dioxide, 2CO plus O2 gives 2CO2. So here's the simple ratio is 2:1:2. Understood? So न्यूमेरिकल्स पर चलते हैं। Gay-Lussac's लॉ के बेसिस पे कुछ न्यूमेरिकल्स हैं। फर्स्ट न्यूमेरिकल इज द व्हाट इज सेइंग example first is what volume of oxygen would be required to burn completely 200 ml of acetylene C2H2 and what would be the volume of carbon dioxide formed. Okay, means क्वेश्चन में बोला गया है कि अपना एसिटाइलिन C2H2 को बर्न किया गया है। बर्न किया है मीन्स ऑक्सीजन के प्रेजेंस में। सो हमें मिलेगा CO2 प्लस H2O। सो ऑन बैलेंसिंग 1 second. On balancing, C2H2 plus 5O2 gives 4CO2 plus 2H2O. Okay, so here we can say that the 2 volume of C2H2 plus 5 volume of O2 is gives 4 volume of CO2 and 2 volume of H2O. So according to the above equation, 2 volume of acetylene requires 5 volume of oxygen for complete combustion to produce 4 volume of carbon dioxide. So 200 ml क्या हो गया है 1 second. Okay. So 200 ml of acetylene will be required. 200 ml of acetylene C2H2 will require equals to 5/2 into 200 ml equals to 500 ml of oxygen. Okay. And 500 ml of oxygen is required to provide 200 into 2 equals to 400 of carbon dioxide. Okay, because uh, 500 ml of O2 is required to produce 200 into 2 equals to 400 ml of CO2. Okay, so we can say 500 ml of oxygen is required to burn completely 200 ml of acetylene, thereby producing 400 ml of carbon dioxide. Okay, so now on next example, if 6 liters of hydrogen and 5.6 liters of chlorine are mixed and exploded, what will be the composition by volume of resulting gaseous mixture? Okay, so in solution क्या बोल रहा है कि H2 plus Cl2, you know, it gives 2HCl. Okay, here 1 volume of H2 plus 1 volume of C2 gives 2 volume of HCl. So 5.6 liter of chlorine will be react with only 5.6 hydrogen, 5.6 liter of Cl2 will react with only 5.6 liter of hydrogen. So 6 minus 5.6, that is 0.4 liter of hydrogen will remain, okay, will remain unreached. So since the volume of HCl gas formed is twice that of chlorine used, okay, because here we can say one volume of sorry, not C2, this was Cl2, okay, Cl2 chlorine. One volume of chlorine gives 2 volume of HCl. So volume of HCl gas formed is twice of volume of chlorine, okay. So we can say we will find volume of HCl second volume of HCl equals to 5.6 into 2 equals to 11.2 liter, okay, understood. So we can say we will find the volume of HCl 11.2 liter. समझ गए? Here is very important note that the reactant will be completely used up in reactions. Reaction is known as limiting reagent, okay, or limiting reactant. In above example, chlorine is the limiting reagent, ठीक है, मीन्स यहाँ पे हमारा हाइड्रोजन 1 वॉल्यूम और क्लोरीन भी 1 वॉल्यूम दिया गया था, तो 2 वॉल्यूम हमारा HCl मिला था, बट जब हम 5.6 लीटर क्लोरीन ले रहे हैं और 6 लीटर H2 ले रहे हैं, तो 5.6 के साथ में मिलके तो 5.6 ये बना देगा, बट ये कितना बच जाएगा, ये हमारा अभी भी 0.4 लीटर वॉल्यूम बच जाएगा। तो ये एक्सेस मात्रा में, ये कम मात्रा में, तो ये जल्दी खत्म हो जाएगा, तो हमारा लिमिटिंग रिएजेंट Cl2 हो गया, ठीक है। नाउ नेक्स्ट एग्जांपल, व्हाट वॉल्यूम ऑफ propane is burned for every 100 centimeter cube of oxygen in the reaction. Reaction दी गई है C3H8 plus 5O2 gives 3CO2 plus 4H2O. Gas volume measured under the same conditions. Okay. So from the above equation, from the above reaction, it is clear that for every 5 volume of oxygen, 1 volume of propane is burned. इसलिए we can say that volume of propane burned for every 100 centimeter cube of oxygen equals to 1/5 into 100 equals to 20 centimeter cube. Okay, so our answer is 20 centimeter cube propane is burned. Okay, Now next example, 80 centimeter cube of methane is mixed with 200 centimeter cube of pure oxygen at room temperature and pressure. ठीक है, यहाँ पे रूम टेम्परेचर एंड प्रेशर दिया गया है, तो द मिक्सचर इज देन ignited with it once as illustrated by the equation. CH4 gas plus 2O2 gas gives CO2 gas plus 2H2O in liquid. Calculate the composition of the resulting mixture if it is cooled to initial room temperature and pressure. Okay, so we know that in the above equation, CH4, one volume of CH4 plus 2 volume of O2 gives 1 volume of CO2. Okay, by Gay-Lussac law, using Gay-Lussac law, 1 volume of methane required 2 volume of oxygen. Okay, 1 volume of methane required 2 volume of oxygen. So 80 centimeter cube of methane required equals to 2 into 80 centimeter cube means 160 centimeter cube of oxygen. ठीक है, now 1 volume of methane produces 1 volume of carbon dioxide. So 80 centimeter cube methane produced, we know that 1 volume of CH4 produce equals to 1 volume of CO2. So we can say that 80 centimeter cube of CH4 produce 80 centimeter cube of CO2. Okay, this is our answer. Understood? क्वेश्चन बोल रहा था कि 80 सेंटीमीटर क्यूब मीथेन 200 सेंटीमीटर क्यूब ऑफ प्योर ऑक्सीजन के साथ में रूम टेम्परेचर एंड प्रेशर पर मिक्स किया जाता है। तो मिक्सचर बनने के बाद हमें जो कैलकुलेट करना था कि कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड कितना बनेगा, तो हमारा 80 सेंटीमीटर क्यूब मीथेन प्रोड्यूस करेगा 80 सेंटीमीटर क्यूब ऑफ CO2. ओके, so the composition of gaseous mixture after reaction is methane. What will be methane? Equals to 80 minus 80 equals to 0, and CO2 will be 80 centimeter cube, and oxygen will be 200 minus 160 equals to 40 centimeter cube, and water will be negligible. Okay, water will be negligible. Okay, on next example, 40 centimeter cube of methane reacts with chlorine according to the following equation. Equation is CH4 gas plus 2Cl2 gas gives CH2Cl2 gas plus 2HCl gas. Calculate the volume of HCl gas formed and chlorine gas required. Okay, so using by Gay-Lussac law, 1 volume of CH4 produce 2 volume of HCl. Okay, 1 volume CH4 produce 2 volume of HCl, and so we can say 40 centimeter cube of CH4 produce 40 centimeter cube of HCl will produce 80 centimeter cube of HCl. Okay, since 1 volume of CH4 required 2 volume of chlorine, so 40 centimeter cube of methane will require 2 into 40 equals to 80 centimeter cube of Cl2. Okay, so our answer is 80 centimeter of HCl is formed, and 80 centimeter cube of HCl is formed, and 80 centimeter cube of HCl is required. Okay, thank you.